Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I've been wanting to do this video for quite some time, but it did take me a little bit to test this particular product out. We are going to be talking about the Olive and June press-on nails. Go ahead, grab some coffee, because although I want to make this short and sweet, I can't guarantee that. So I have a lot to say. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So these are not nails that you can wear on a consistent, regular basis. What I mean by that is each of these press-on nails claim that they will last at least 14 days. Let me clarify that, up to 14 days. So the kit is very well made. You'll have everything that you need in here: glue, acetone pad, cuticle pusher, nail file. You really don't need anything other than this to apply this product. It is easy to apply, so you can rest assured that if you're in a pinch and this is what you grabbed, don't be afraid. You're really not going to need anything else than the contents in this particular package. With that said, I think that people that don't have small children or that don't do a lot of washing dishes, a lot of cleaning, could probably very well get more than 14 days out of this, depending on how well the glue adheres to your nail. That varies from person to person. Our nails are like our skin. Honestly, not everybody has the same kind of nail beds. So for me personally, the glue of this adhered to my nails really well, almost a little too well. And the reason I say that is because I had watched many tutorials on how to wear this and how to remove them after the 14 days, because not all of my nails were falling off or popping off at the same time. So because I have a 3-year-old, I do a lot of cleaning, a lot of washing dishes. So I would notice that the first nail would pop off after day 5 or day 6, depending on the length of the nail. So these press-on nails come in various sizes. They come in extra short, extra short, medium almond, long almond. They now have a stiletto shape, and I have the medium stilettos right here. So depending on your nail bed and what length you're looking for, I found that the extra short length lasted the longest. Obviously, because I had very little length left over my actual nail bed, which means there was less crashing into things, less contact and tapping to the nail. The short version and the extra short version, I would find, lasted the least on me, surprisingly enough, because the short almond size, which are these right here, I found the short almond to last me longer than the extra short. And you can see that these are very different shapes. And this is the short length, which is just a little bit longer than the ones that I just showed you, compared to the almond short. So I found that the extra short and short lasted less time than my short almond shape. Reason for that is, since these are wider at the tip, you have actually more of that surface nail that's tapping and crashing into other things throughout the day. Versus the almond short, because the sides are filed down, really the only part of the nail that's actually coming into contact with things is the tip. So deceivingly enough, you would think that the almond ones would actually last the least amount of time, but because there's less of that surface nail coming in contact with other objects, they actually lasted longer on me. Now, like I said before, the glue of this product adhered a little too well to my nails, and I found that for my lifestyle and my nail type, I can only wear these once a month. I tried doing them every 2 weeks, but it didn't matter what I did or how I removed them. I tried acetone, soaking them in acetone. I bought the whole kit from Olive & June to do that. The whole soaking them in acetone was my least favorite way of taking them off, and it caused the most amount of damage to my nails. Obviously, acetone dries out your nails, so soaking them for a prolonged period of time to melt away the glue and the nail, it caused a lot of damage to my actual nail. The other way to remove these, which will allow you to reuse the nails, is if you soak your nails in warm water and soap. And I found that that method was the best way to do it. Disclaimer here, under no circumstances do you try to remove these press-on nails after 7 days. That would be 1 week. Don't try it. I've been there, I've done that. That was a huge fail, huge disaster. Don't do it. Wait the 2 weeks, and then you can try to either remove them by soaking them in the warm soapy water, or you can soak them in acetone, whatever you prefer. Even though my method of taking them off was soaking them in warm soapy water, every time a nail popped off, every time a nail I would take it off with the soapy hot water, I always lost a layer of my nail. And I could see it on the actual bottom of the nail, like on the glue. I could see that thin layer of my nail on there. So I was essentially making my nails weaker. And if I would do that every 2 weeks, my nails took a really big hit because they were just starting to become weaker and weaker. Now, what you're always going to have a little bit of glue residue on the nail that you can actually remove with the Olive & June acetone, which is lovely. I love that acetone because I find it to be a little bit more gentle than all the other ones out there, and it really doesn't dry out my nail as much as other brands. And so you just kind of take off the residue of the glue from your nail, and then you can proceed with buffing your nail a little bit. You have to buff, you know, the nail beds a little bit before applying this, especially if you have ridges on your nail bed. So my natural nail has always had these very small ridges, but they're there. So I had to buff that a little bit before applying the glue. That way it would adhere well. And you have to press these down for 30 seconds according to the instructions. Now, if you want to wear these for less than a week, it says to apply the glue only straight down the nail. If you want it to last you 14 days, you apply glue all over your nail and then all over the nail, the plastic nail itself, and then you press it on. I found that in order for these to adhere to my nail, I actually had to hold and press them down for 40 seconds because these nails, although you can have extra short and short, but with this same shape, so you can see, for example, although these are different lengths, the shapes are exactly the same. For some reason, these tend to be a lot more curved than these do. And if the nail is too curved, I find that in the process of pressing it down to my finger, I will create a dent on my natural nail bed. And I'm gonna show you. So for example, on my thumb, it has started to grow out already because I've been giving my nails a break, but do you see the ridge on there? Let me see if I can get closer, but do you see that right at the tip of my nail? So imagine that was all the way up here when I started to use them, so I've let my nails grow out since then. But look at my pointer. You can see the ridges at the tip of my pointer. I'm not sure if the camera is going to pick it up. But you guys can definitely see those ridges on all the shorts that I do on a weekly basis when I paint my nails a brand new color. So I didn't like that either. And I found that that was happening with certain nails, and I couldn't figure out because the shape, the actual curvature of the nail does differ per finish. I don't know why that is. So that's one thing that I wasn't a fan of, was the inconsistency within the same exact shape but different finishes or colors, right? Now with the short almond shape, I found this shape was the best for me, and I found that this particular length and shape was the most consistent throughout all finishes and all colors. So these, for example, have little stars on them, but I had ones that were kind of like a white iridescent. It was called Sugar Glaze, and I wore them for the holidays. Same exact shape, same exact size, and the nail, the actual curvature of the nail was exactly the same. So with this particular shape, I have found the most consistency with. Now I love that you have this little insert on each package that allows you to stick your finger through to see hypothetically how that nail will look on your skin. Love that. Another great thing about this particular brand is they try to use a lot less toxic ingredients that are in nail products. And I also love that you get 42 nails, which is more than what you get with any other brand. So it's pretty much impossible not to find your exact size with Olive & June. I love their color stories. I find that they are very much in theme with what you would get at a salon. They're very work appropriate, and they do look salon quality. Now with these nails, I find that they are a little thicker than, for example, like a stick-on impress nail. I prefer that. Again, I have a toddler. I wash a lot of dishes, so I love a little thickness to my press-on nail because it does help protect my actual nail with, you know, things crashing into them, etc. Some people prefer a thinner nail, so do keep that in mind. These are a little thicker in nature, but nonetheless very beautiful. I love that you have a lot of options. So for example, this one has that kind of like tiger eye effect to it, and this color is called World Lit Velvet. And then this one is Baby Starfish. This is very similar to Mermaid Hair, which Mermaid Hair is an actual nail polish that they have that I absolutely love, and this color is very similar to that. But they often do have nail polishes that they have created press-on nails for. This is something that I find really good for those of you who can't actually get your nails to grow long, or don't have the money to get a full set of salon nails, because I think we can all agree that's at least $80, okay? And these retail for like $10 a pop. And you get the same kind of, you know, quality in the actual color and shape of the nail. Obviously, I know that getting a full set of acrylics or getting a full set of gels is gonna last you much longer, and you don't have to put up with, you know, all the things that I've talked about in this video. But I'm not somebody who can be at the salon monthly or regularly that way. My nails grow really long. I'm also not somebody who likes to have long nails. I really prefer to have my nails really short. And for those of you who've been following me for a really long time know that this is the length of nail I prefer, because I'm not the I'm not a gentle person. I'm a troll with my hands. And I type for a living, so there's also that. But occasionally, I do want to have a longer nail. I particularly don't like the way that my nails look when they grow, because the corners of my nails tend to curl in and the shape looks very off. I'm not a fan of it, and so therefore, as a temporary thing that I would love to do, I once a month can do a cute little press on and have a slightly longer nail for 2 weeks, and that's more than enough for me. If I were to actually grow my nails out, it would probably take me a month with a lot of filing, a lot of maintenance to keep them that way without breaking. So this is just something nice that I can do every now and then, which is why I continue to purchase them. And I have a little stash, and when I feel like having a longer nail with a fun little design, nothing too crazy, still work appropriate, because that's another thing. I feel like when they do designs, Olive and June does do some things that are very classy, very work appropriate. And I don't really think that anybody's gonna notice that these aren't your nails unless they're really looking at them, you know? And if you're talking in conversation with somebody, you're having that normal social interaction a day, I feel like nobody's gonna really notice. And when I do wear my press-ons, I do get a lot of compliments on them. So this is how I have found to fit them in my lifestyle. I personally can't wear them on a bi-weekly basis, and that's fine. So much so that on the fourth time I put these on that I tried to take them off, they actually adhered to my nail so well that I actually lost a third of my pinky nail, which has now grown out. Thank God, there was no bleeding or anything like that. But I did have to wait quite some time before even putting nail polish on that nail, because I did lose a portion of it. So these are great, but proceed with caution, and I really only recommend that you wear them once a month. That's my take on that. For those of you who are press-on nail connoisseurs, which I am not, this was just my first take on these, testing these out, seeing, you know, how they work and what's the best way to put them on, take them off. Leave me a comment down below with your favorite brand. I am gonna try the sticker press-on version of Olive and June that they launched recently. I will report back to you guys on that. I've also picked up a set of Glamnetic nails that I wanna try out. And I've picked up the sticker version of Impress, because my mother-in-law is a sticker nail connoisseur. And she says that these sticker press-ons from Impress are the best that she's ever tried. So I'm gonna give those a go as well. And I'm assuming that a sticker is gonna be less damaging to my nail than actual glue. Now, as far as reusing the nails, if you take them off with warm soapy water, you're still gonna have some glue on the bottom of that nail, so you kind of have to figure out how to take that off, maybe with like a cotton swab and some acetone to get that glue off. I personally don't have the time to do that, so I don't really keep mine and reuse them. I just toss them. But if you have the time, I guess it's worth it if you can reuse them and save yourself $10. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. That's the only other platform I'm currently active on. Don't forget to give this video a like or a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me your questions and your comments down below. I will do my best to answer them, and see you next time. Bye.